Would you like to live in a world where all you can hear is everybody else's noise? Hey, my name is Darren, and this is my podcast on the knife of never letting go. Patrick Ness gives us a very open look to this universe of constant noise he created through his story, The Knife of Never Letting Go. His novel is about the layers upon layers of struggles Todd and Viola face, and it also describes this concept of never losing what you believe in. We see Todd and Viola constantly on the run because of this impending danger that is bound to catch up to them, but we also see Todd self-sabotaging. One of the main conflicts in this story that we see is Todd's self-doubt. Whenever something bad happens, he doubts himself, and that causes them both to fall short. Some ways we see this is, he hesitates before killing Aaron for the first time. He argues with people because he feels insecure about his abilities, especially if it's a woman, and Todd is too naive for his own good, and is unwilling to change that. Todd feels like he needs to be the man of their relationship, but his lack of confidence and self-awareness makes them struggle way more than need be, and he ends up hurting them even more. We see by the end of the book that Todd Hewitt could never be a killer. It's just not in his nature. Killing Aaron the first time he attacked them back at the swamp would have saved a lot of future struggles. I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to do it. Oh man, oh man, oh man, I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to kill him. I raised the knife. I've raised the knife. Ness 48. From this quote, we can see that Todd really doesn't believe in himself and his abilities to protect Viola. Yes, this is around chapter 8 of the book, but it does not change the fact that he hesitates and can't think of what to do in the current situation. You can almost visualize his frightened, wary face. He doubted himself, which leads to my next points. The whole confrontation was a mess of self-doubt, worry, and stress. Todd was very hesitant to take action and defeat Aaron. He also didn't believe in himself at all. Todd even says, "He sees me standing there, knife in the air, not moving like the goddamn coward idiot I am." He is very self-depreciating and has a very low self-esteem with clear lack of confidence. He uses very demeaning words to describe himself, which did not help the situation at all. Todd is so focused on how much of a coward he is that he basically allows Aaron to get the upper hand. While he is being choked to death by Aaron, also being drowned, all he can think about is, I had my chance and I've lost it, and I deserve this, and I'm fighting, but I am not nearly as strong as I was before. I can feel the end coming. I can feel me giving up. 48. In his mind, he had already lost the losing battle. Then something went in his head, and he found a rock in the river that he used to hit Aaron with. Yeah, he briefly got the upper hand, but ultimately he couldn't do it. He was really and truly about to finish off the job for good, telling himself that it was Aaron's fault why Ben and Killian were dead, that he was the one who sent Mayor Prentice after him, but in the end, he thinks, he deserves it, and I can't bring the knife down to finish the job. Who am I? I'm Todd Hewitt. I'm the biggest effing waste of nothing known to man. I can't do it. God damn you, I think to myself again. 49. His self-doubt led to many more encounters with the quote-unquote holy man Aaron. Aaron was a hardship in itself, but with Todd's added self-depreciation, he created a whole whirlpool of dangerous events that have to do with this man that is like the cat that never came back. The cat that always came back. Todd is very insecure about his abilities, or in some cases, lack thereof. So in turn, he takes it out on the people who are trying to help him by fighting them. Todd is a natural debater and will physically not do anything anyone says until he fights them hand and foot beforehand. Not in the physical, I'm gonna punch you in the face way, but in the, I'ma ask you why 5 million times before I do what you say. A perfect example was when Ben and Killian were telling Todd that he needed to escape Prenticetown, and he basically threw a tantrum about it. And he takes off back towards the house, running, actually running. Come on, Todd, Ben says. Not till someone explains something. 27. He can clearly read Ben and Killian's noise, and see the fear and disdain on their faces, but chooses to be indignant and stubborn, like a 5-year-old. We understand that at this point of the novel, Todd knows nothing of the troubles of Prenticetown, but he can clearly read the seriousness of the situation and adamantly chooses not to comply and be difficult. His stubbornness and lack of awareness causes the Prenticetown men to catch up to them and murder Killian. Other times we see Todd fighting people is in chapter 16 when Viola is trying to help him read his mom's journal that Ben gave to him. She makes a comment about how it would do them good to know the history of Town, and this makes Todd mad. I grab my sheets and blanket under my arm and I stomp off to the room where we ate. I throw them on the floor and I lay down, a room away from Viola and all her meaningless, evil quiet. 95. He feels like she is saying that he is incompetent and poking fun at him, but in reality she is not. Due to his insecurities, he thought she was because that is how he was thinking, because he says, "There ain't no poking in her voice, not that I can hear, but that's gotta be what it is, ain't it? Poking?" He knows she's not making fun, but he makes himself believe it, and then the outcome is they both still don't know a slight clue of where they're supposed to go, and end up getting a whole town attacked by not reading the journal. If they read the journal, they would have found Ben's note to warn the town. By Todd not listening and picking fights with literally everyone who is trying or has tried to help him, tragic accidents have happened that cannot be erased, like the loss of his loved one or a massacre of a whole town. As we go through the book, we see just how naive Todd can be. When Ben and Killian are sending him away, he does not believe that there are other settlements. Yes, that is mainly due to how he was raised, but his father figures are telling him otherwise, and he still does not believe it. That is why the whole duration of them running away, he kind of drags his feet, because he thinks there are no other settlements. It also explains his complete shock to hear other noise. He's got noise pouring out of him like a bright parade, all full of unwelcome welcome and pushy good feeling. 86. He really thought even though Ben and Killian were saying that there were other people and settlements, his naivety caused him to treat Hildy and Tam badly and made him not trust them. So when they fought and most likely died because of the Town men, he felt badly and guilty after. Another example of Todd being naive is when Wilf and his wife Jane found Todd passed out on the side of the road. He starts talking to Wilf about losing Viola and makes a backhand comment about how his nose was as blank as ever. 169. And then he says, "But the lesson of forever and ever is that knowing a man's mind ain't knowing the man." Todd says this not to explain her circumstance at the very moment, but he uses this to reference his total trusting of all the men in Town. He is saying that all the noise he heard from the men he trusted may not all be entirely true. The men he trusted are now chasing after him and have put him in a dangerous situation, because he let them. He uses this quote to let the readers know that he has finally come to realize how naive he actually was and how those men made him doubt himself, which ultimately led him and Viola to danger and being separated. Nearly more than halfway through the book, Todd starts to realize how naive he actually is. This quote just proves the changes he made as a man after getting over his naivety. Self-doubt really made Todd mess up and hurt both him and Viola more than was needed in the process. We can see this when Todd fails to kill Aaron because even though he doubts himself, he will not lose his morals as a person. But in consequence, Aaron just keeps coming back again and again. He argues with people who try to help him because he is insecure in his abilities and feels like he has to be the one calling the shots. He's too focused on trying to look tougher and act older than he is and loses focus on actually trying to make smart moves and stay alive. Then finally, we have this "I'm a man" spiel coming out of a young boy who still believes whatever his town told him. Even though with every situation they walk into, it proves whatever they said wrong. If this doesn't tell you how self-sabotage messes with you, then you just have to ask Viola, because she keeps getting Todd's short end of the stick. Yes, Todd has made many, many mistakes, but we also have to remember he's only a preteen who has grown up in a world of violence, anger, and lies. So, we have to give him the benefit of the doubt, because we all make mistakes. And that's the end. Bye. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk.